What's going on, guys? Hunter Medusa here, bringing you guys a brand new video. Today we are going to be talking about Sona 2.0. Okay, but really, we're going to be talking about Seraphine. And I am actually very excited to do this one because I really enjoy playing Seraphine. And I actually had someone reach out in the comments and ask for Seraphine specifically. So I am happy to do this one for you guys because you know that my main goal on this channel is to make sure that you guys climb higher and reach your goal or rank in League of Legends. Everybody is capable of diamond or higher, and sometimes you just need a little extra help to get to that point. So without further ado, let's jump into her abilities. Now, her passive is going to be called Stage Presence. Now, essentially what this does is every third basic spell will cast twice. So basically, if you use her Q 3 times in a row, on the third time it will cast twice. Same with any of her other abilities except for her ult. This does not work on her ult. With every basic ability except for her ult. This does not work on her ult, but keep that in mind because that is very important to remember. She also has another part of her passive, which every time that she casts the spell near an ally, it actually grants her a little bit of bonus magic damage and range on her basic attack. So it only occurs once, so it's not like a kindred stack where you can, get bigger and better range, but just, if she casts the spell next to an ally, she gains little notes that kind of float around her that you can kind of notice, and when she goes to auto attack, she has a little bit more range and a little bit more magic damage with that auto attack. Once she does that, the notes or the little diamonds that will float around her will actually disappear. So let's move on to her Q. This is going to be called High Note. Now this is pretty simple. She just is going to lob an ability into the air and it'll come down in a location and do AoE damage. Now do keep in mind that High Note is very slow when you cast it. So you have to be really careful about where you're going to be predicting, because by the time they watch you cast it, they can easily move out of the way. Now when the note does land, it does not do AoE immediately. It kind of expands outwards at a decent pace, but still slow enough that it can be dodged pretty easily. So it's not just an automatic AoE. You have to wait for the note or the ability to hit the ground, and then it'll kind of expand outwards. So Q, pretty easy to understand. Let's move on to her W. Now this is going to be surround sound. So now essentially what this does is that she shields and speeds up nearby allies for a small duration. And if she casts it twice for that third passive spell, then it will heal everybody inside as well. So it's not an immediate heal. The heal takes a second. So do keep that in mind, that it will not heal immediately, but it will heal them. So I wouldn't use it as something that you need to heal somebody really fast because they're about to die, because yes, it will shield them and it may save them for a little bit, but it's not going to heal them right away. So you need to kind of preemptively use it if you're going to be going in, or if you feel like they're going to be engaging on you guys. Just kind of keep an eye on how to use it, and that's just really going to come with practice on when to use that properly. So now her E, this is going to be Beat Drop. Now this is the one that everybody hates the most, because all she does is she shoots a wave in a straight line. All enemies hit will be slowed for a serious amount. I think towards level 5 it reaches like 80% or higher, so it is really hard to deal with. Now it is easy to dodge, and it does travel a fairly long distance. People tend to forget that the distance that it does have is really great, so they try to get a little a little closer to their enemy before they use it. Just experiment with a little bit. Again, this is one of those other things that does come with practice. Using it at a distance, it will happen. Now with her passive, so again, if you use it on the third spell, it casts a second one right behind it, and if you hit both on one enemy, they will be stunned in place. So no passive, it has very high slow. With a passive, it causes a stun, and it's a pretty large stun. And if you have an enemy nearby, you should get some more of those passive, bonus range and magic damage stacks, which is why everybody hates Seraphine, because she just pumps out insane amounts of damages. So let's look at Encore, which is going to be her R. So this is something that is kind of a mix between Sona and Ahri. Now what she does is she's going to shoot out a wave of damage that's going to go out in a straight line, similar to the way that her E works, but everybody that it hits is going to be charmed, and they're going to start walking straight towards Seraphine. So this is really good engage tool, or if someone's trying to get away, you can use it, because just like I said earlier with the E, it does have a lot of range on it. So you'll be able to, catch someone out really easily. that sort of thing. Now, while this does count as an ability, it's not a basic ability, so keep in mind that it does not stack with your passive. Your passive only stacks with your Q, Ws, and E. So if you're trying to use your ultimate in the middle of a fight to get that, you know, that passive up, it's not going to work the way you think it will. So I don't want to tell you to use it sparingly because it is really nice to have, but you also don't want to just blow it every time you find somebody. It is a really good tool if you're, you know, if a team fight has just broken out and you're trying to save your carry, or you're trying to, you know, get a 5-man charm, whatever it may be. All of these how to plays and all of these champions that I talk about, they just take some time to really get to know how to play, and you just got to practice with them. Once you practice and you learn the range, you just get better. My job is to just give you the basics on how to play these champs with maybe a few little extra tips here and there. Okay, so now with the abilities out of the way, let's look into what runes you're going to want to take. Now, I prefer to take Airy because you're going to be doing a lot of healing. You're going to be doing a lot of shielding, and so it just comes in handy. However, if you're going to be a little more pokey, or you're going to be a little more damage heavy, then you can go Arcane Comet. There's nothing wrong with it. Yes, she does have a W that will proc summon Airy. However, that W does have a decently sized cooldown, so you won't get to use it as often. Using Arcane Comet, it does have a smaller cooldown, if I'm correct, don't quote me on that, and you'll be able to pump out a little bit more damage. Now, after, you know, Arcane Comet, if that's what you decide to take, standard things such as Mana Flow Ban, Transcendence, or Scorch are going to be, you know, pretty standard things, because you are going to be a very poke heavy support. Now, in the Inspiration Tree, me specifically, I like to take Biscuit Delivery, just because I love to just spam my spells out, and having the extra biscuits really help. And if you do want to do that, I also like to use Time Warp Tonic. Now, remember that these runes do change depending on who you're playing into or what the team comp may be. You're probably going to want some adaptive for both of your runes, and then maybe like some armor or magic resist, whatever is going to be more prominent in your lane. Now, with items, if you've watched my how to plays before, you know that I don't like to tell you exactly what items to get, because items are so different each game. You know, something may never be the same that it was last game. You know, if you went this build last game, you may not want to go the same build because it may not be as beneficial to you. However, Spell Thief's Edge is going to be the support item that you are going to want to pick. It is crucial because it helps you proc a lot of gold off of people with that passive, because you are throwing out so many spells. And Boots of Lucidity are kind of key to Seraphine because she does, you know, rely on just heavy poke. From that point, you can really go any route you want. If you're going to be going super support heavy, Imperial Mandate's going to be your best friend. If you maybe want to go a little more damage heavy, then maybe you could go Everfrost with a Crystal Scepter, whatever's tickling your fancy for that game. Now, how to play Seraphine, I've touched on it a lot already, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this, and because we are running out of time. But the important thing is that Seraphine does such a great job early game at just pumping out damage. So you're gonna want to be as oppressive as you can. You're gonna want to be throwing spells out left and right. You're probably gonna run out of mana really fast, kind of like I'm running out of breath talking to you guys. And at the same time, you casting all of these abilities, it'll give your ADC a little bit more of a chance. Or if you're playing mid lane, it'll give you a chance to farm a little better without, you know, having to deal with poke and, you know, junglers or whatever. Because Seraphine, not only does she have a lot of poke damage, but she can lock someone down at level 1. All you got to do is cast your E 2 times and get ready for the third, and you can stun somebody at level 1. Yes, there are a lot of champions that can do that, but Seraphine pumps out so much damage just with her E. So she is just, I mean, you've just got to be annoying. Like, I want you to be the reason that somebody uninstalls League. Just do that for me. If you get someone to uninstall League while you're playing Seraphine, I want you to come back and I want you to comment and let me know, because it will literally make my entire life, because I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to do that. Okay, I'm getting off track. I really hope that this helped you guys out a little bit, maybe gave you a little bit of a better grasp on Seraphine. I know that with Seraphine specifically, I didn't go into super detail about some extra pro tips, and that's simply because I don't play her very often. When I do get autofilled, or when I do play with friends that want me to support, I will play her because she is so much fun to play. But maybe, you know, sometime down the road, I'll put out a separate video that's just going to go over, you know, specifically, you know, a little more pro tips for Seraphine. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like down below as well as a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if this helped you. And if you think that this guide was complete garbage, let me know, because all that's going to do is give me feedback. And if you guys would, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. It really helps me out and it lets me know that you guys enjoy the videos I make and the content that I create. Now, with that being said, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And thank you for joining the Stone Army.